What's up YouTube, and welcome back to my series entitled Let's Hack. This episode we're going to be looking at Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel. Now I will go ahead and give a quick disclaimer that I will not be using Borderlands 2 nor the pre-sequel to show off anything in this because modding Borderlands 1 happens to be the most complicated process out of the three games. So I will only be showcasing WillowTree, the program that is used for modding Borderlands 1. Although I will say that the process for modding all three games is very similar. It's kind of a drag and drop your save, open it, save it, put it back on your flash drive, or just put it in your save games file if you're on PC. By the way, this does work for Xbox and PlayStation 3 if you are able to do that. This works on all of these different platforms, which is why this is just a fun tutorial to do because it's very universal and anyone from any console or any platform can definitely participate in this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So before I completely start off the video, I do want to go ahead and say that there are some difficulties when downloading a few of the files, so I have a couple of videos here to help you along with that process. Some of you might not need it, and if you don't, like all of my other Let's Hack videos, I will have timestamps on the screen right now that you can go to if you want to just go ahead and get started with your specific game. Now with regards to Borderlands 2, all you're going to do is go in the description down there and you're going to go to the link that says Borderlands 2 Save Editor, and in that link you're going to find the blue highlighted thing at the bottom of the picture that says the GitHub page. You're going to go to that GitHub page and you're going to download the Save Editor. I am hovering over it right now. You are going to download that. Do not download any of the other ones because those are uncompiled. They don't have really all the files that they need to work properly, and this one's just a lot better laid out. So you're just going to download that and extract it onto your desktop, and similarly enough, you will do almost the same thing with the pre-sequel download. The pre-sequel download, you will once again do pretty much the same process. You will go to the link that I provided in the description. You will go to the GitHub link that is underneath the photo, click on it, and once you've clicked on it, you will see Save Edit 102.zip. You will download this file, save it to wherever you like, it doesn't really matter, and then once you have it, you will open it and extract it to your desktop or somewhere you're gonna remember it, and then follow along with the rest of the video. So of course for the video we are going to be only working in Borderlands 1. The reason for this is if I did an explanation for all three games, it would not only be useless because of how similar the processes are to each other, but it would also make this video almost 30 minutes long, and I also do not own the pre-sequel, I just know how the process for modding it works. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop straight into WillowTree, the program that we're going to be working with in Borderlands 1. Now do keep in mind that although the programs they do look a little bit different for all three of the games, they work very, very similar. So let's go ahead and jump straight into WillowTree, and I will show you around and let you know how things work. Alright, now that we are in WillowTree, I will go ahead and give a quick disclaimer that WillowTree at first glance can be a very intimidating piece of software. There's a lot of different things to WillowTree, and actually some things that I don't really know about, especially for something like this, the locker. I have no idea what it is, and if I'm thinking right, the locker, like I'll explain later on, is just a place for you to store your own custom weapons that you don't have room for in your inventory if you're going for a more legit character. Now, the other two save editors that I linked in the description for Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel, these two pieces of software are actually, in my opinion, much better laid out than WillowTree is, although they are inspired by WillowTree, making them very similar in their layout. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight into how to use WillowTree, the process by which WillowTree operates, and how to open, edit, and save your game files. Now do remember that I am doing this on PC and not console, although editing a save file on console is nonetheless the same. Is completely the same. All you have to do is extract your save file off of your console and put it onto a USB flash drive or something to transfer it to your PC, and then put it over into your WillowTree save. That's all you have to do. It is a very simple process, and I apologize for getting distracted there. My girlfriend texted me in the bottom right. Go ahead and close that out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. If you're on PC like I am, you're going to go to File, Open, and then I already have it pre-put there. You're going to go to Documents, My Games, Borderlands, Save Data, and then you're going to find your save. Now my save, of course, is here. Your save might have a different name, no worries though. All you're going to have to do is double click your save to open it, and it will open just fine. Now I have this character pre-made just for the purpose of this video, and just to kind of show off a couple things about Willow Tree. Now in Willow Tree you have a lot of different tabs at the top. You have your general tab, your weapons tab, your items tab, skills, quest, ammo pools, echo logs, bank, locker, and about. Now all of these are very self-explanatory. They will tell you basically what you can and cannot do, and they have a lot of different things in them. Now, I'm going to start off with the general tab, because it is the most simple to explain. Now, your general tab is, of course, just your general information about your character and general things that you can modify. Now, in Borderlands 1, you can modify your current location and a couple of different things in here, like your cache, save slot number, and if you're wondering what the save slot number is, it is a number displayed at the side of your save. How when I was opening my save, it was save 0001 or 0002. Now, you can just go ahead and change the save file by default. It does not have to have a save slot number, although it is recommended for organizational purposes. Now, you can also edit your class, which is actually something that I don't recommend doing for console, because with my experience in modding Borderlands for console, every time I've changed my class from one character to another, it has always corrupted my save. Another thing about all three of these save editors, do make sure to make a backup of all of your saves once you're editing them, because these programs do have a tendency to corrupt your save. Now, Willow Tree, I don't know if the other two does this or not, but Willow Tree does create a backup for you every time you edit your save file, and if you edit your save file multiple times, it can actually become quite cluttered, so be sure to keep tidy of that. So, moving on. If you want to edit your character name, you can just type in whatever you want. You can put in ASCII characters, it doesn't really matter. I'll just go ahead and put a URL in there. Your backpack capacity is, of course, just how many weapons, how many things in your inventory you can hold. Now, Willow Tree only allows you to go up to 1,000. Now, there are other Borderlands 1 save editors out there that will allow you to surpass the 1,000 limit that Willow Tree has set. Same thing for the bank capacity. And weapon equip slots, you can make this higher than 4. I do not recommend you do it. In Willow Tree, once again, it does have it limited, but you can make this higher than 4 if you spawn in the weapon equip slot SDUs in your inventory, which there will be a page on the Borderlands gear calculator, which I will show in just a moment, where you can get the spawn codes for that. Experience is, of course, how much experience you have and how close you are to the next level. Now, I don't recommend really messing with this because it can get kind of confusing. Just mess with your level, and then if you want a little bit, like if you want to be like halfway to level 5, if you're level 4, modify your experience from there. Now, moving on from where I was at before NVIDIA Shadowplay crashed, thanks NVIDIA, I was talking about levels and how the experience can affect them, and if you're wanting an in-between level, to edit the level first instead of the experience. And I think that was really all I got to here. And I didn't explain skill points, actually, which I don't know why. Skill points are just things that you can use to level up these things. I don't recommend you level up these from inside the software. I recommend you just buy skill points and do them in-game, because it is a much faster process and can make it a lot less headache-inducing for yourself. With regards to the proficiencies under the skills tab, these are just how much damage, how good you are with a certain weapon type. It will also allow you to see different things about your weapons. I don't know why it's being odd for me, but it's supposed to tell you different experience levels, and it will kind of give you a pointer, even at level 50, how much experience you've earned from a specific weapon type, and it can help you out a good bit whenever you're looking for statistics type of things. Your quests, this is self-explanatory in itself. It will give you all the different quests that you have available to do now. Now, in older versions of Willow Tree, sadly, it gave you every quest to the game, and it was very annoying, and it was very tedious to go through the quest to see what you had, because some of these, it was not started on every single one of them, and it was really, really, really dumb, because this is where you can go and see all the quests. They moved it to here, and it made it much, much simpler, and it made it a whole lot less of a headache to deal with. But with regards to playthroughs, if you haven't played Borderlands before, all of the Borderlands have different playthroughs, playthrough 1, playthrough 2, playthrough 3, with regards to the first game, and you have the different Vault Hunter modes in the second game, and then in the third game, I can't remember what it's called, but if you're playing the pre-sequel, you probably know about it. But basically this is, once you finish the game one time, you can go back and finish it a second time. All of the enemies will be a much higher level. They will be max level even on the third playthrough, and it almost makes it a lot more fun to play it at that point because it makes it a little bit more challenging. With your ammo pools, these are very self-explanatory as well. These are just how much ammo you have for a specific weapon type. Now the SDU upgrade levels, these are basically how much you can hold in a weapon class. What your max ammo capacity is for a sniper rifle, for repeaters, for SMGs, and so forth. The max for everything but sniper rifles is 5. I don't know why they decided to make sniper rifles special and put them at 6, but they did. You can buy these in-game, these SDU upgrade levels. You can buy them in vending machines. You can buy if I'm not mistaken, one of the maxed out ones at T-Bone Junction, which is the start to the Secret Armory of General Knox DLC. So that's where you can get these legitimately if you want them. Now, Echo Logs, these are mostly lore based. I do not, to any degree whatsoever, recommend you mess with these, because some of them, not all of them, but some of them can screw with your game. It can make some missions uncompletable, and it can make some missions very corrupty, and some things that you just don't want in your game. Same thing with quests. I do not recommend at any point, if you have a quest that you have just started and you haven't finished, such as this one for killing 9 toes, I've just started it. I do not want to click finished on it because, well, for 2 reasons. Number one, sometimes it will corrupt your game and not allow you to go forth in the campaign, making the game incompletable and corrupting your game overall. And number two, it just simply doesn't give you the XP, as if you just went and said ready to turn in instead of going and dealing the objective and whatnot. Ready to turn in will just mean you have to go to whoever issued out the mission and you turn it in from there. And if it's an objective-based mission like going and finding echo logs, you will still just go find all of the echo logs, and once you've found the last one or found whatever object it is you're looking for, you will just simply turn in the mission with the last object that you need to find. Now these missions like that are actually very rare in the game. There's only a couple that I can really remember. But you'll know those when you see them. But I don't really recommend messing with the quest thing anyway, because it can cause the game to be a little bit less fun. Now with the bank is just a place where you can store weapons that you're not currently using or you don't have inventory space for, or something of that nature. Very self-explanatory. And the locker, I looked it up a minute ago, and it's exactly what I thought it was. The locker is just a place for you to put weapons you either, number one, don't have inventory space for, or number two, you just want to play around with and you don't want to throw them in your inventory. So you can just put them in here and they'll be tied to your character. You don't really have access to them in-game, I don't believe, but they will be there for future notice if you do ever need them. And then of course the About page is just where you can see the different changelogs to the software. Now, I will go ahead and jump into the Weapons and Items tab, but first the Items tab, you will see a couple of things in here. Not all of it is going to be shields and class mods and weapon and grenade mods. Those are the three big ones, those are the three legitimate ones that you will see in here. What you will also see in here are things called Bobbleheads. These are modifiable things that you can put into the game if you've downloaded a modded save from Audio, if you still use that, if you're old school like I am for Xbox. If you still use Horizon or any of those things for modifying your character and adding things to your game, or if you just go on the internet and download a save game, you might see Bobbleheads in here, you might see ammo SDUs in here, you might see skill point drops in here, backpack space drops, and a few other things, but for the majority it's just going to be shields and stuff like that. I'll get into the other things in just a minute. Now with regards to the weapons page and the weapons tab, all you're going to find in here is all the weapons that you have in-game. Now, the weapons page has a lot of different components to it. It has your weapon parts, this is what's on your weapon currently, and this is telling you what your weapon does, how much damage it does, the different statistics that each part does for it, and then down here is where you can modify the weapon and change the parts on it. Now, I in no way whatsoever recommend you use Willow Tree or the Borderlands 2 editor to change your weapon parts. It is a very complicated process to do, and although the Borderlands 2 weapon save editor does lay it out a little bit more, it's not near as good as the web pages that I'm about to show you, and it makes it a very difficult process and something that I don't recommend you do at all. Now, what I do recommend you go and do is go into the game and get past the intro screen, at least for Borderlands 1, get past the intro screen and open up a few crates. Now, and once you find the weapons in the crates, it cannot be the starter weapons, because the starter weapons, they don't appear in here and they're technically not legitimate weapons. You can't modify them. Now, the weapons that you spawn with, of course, you cannot modify them. But the weapons that you pick up from crates that you can modify, you will see down in here, and what you can do if you per se find an SMG that has an insanely large scope on it that you just either think is ugly or it's disorienting that it scopes in so far, like some of the weapons with the Cyclops scope, it can get kind of tedious with stuff like that on your weapons that you just don't want, or you just find a weapon that's at low damage but you love the way it's built and you just want to make it a little bit better. What you're going to do is you're going to go in here, you're going to find that weapon, find the name, it will have the exact name, nothing like that's going to be changed. You're going to go to export weapon over here, and then export to clipboard. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to your preferred gear calculator. Now, there are two different gear calculators for Borderlands 2. I do not know if there's a second one for Borderlands 1. I know that there are two different web pages that has this, but this is the original web page that does have all the different references and resources for you to use, and that can help you out when creating your own weapon or modifying one that you already have. Now, both of the gear calculators, they do very specific things, and both of them are almost the same, just with the minusing on a couple of different layout things for the second one. Now, Borderlands 2's is very simple. You can make your own gun, you can make your own shields, you can make your own grenade mods, class mods, and relics. Now, there are two things that the Borderlands 2 one does not have. Number one, all of the references that this one has and tutorials for making a weapon and making it good. It does not have that. And the Borderlands 2 one also does not have an import function. So all you can do from here is create your own weapon. You cannot import a weapon. Although, the other gear calculator that is, I'm pretty sure on Nexus's website, will allow you to import and modify your own weapons, if I'm not mistaken. So if you're wanting something like that and not wanting to just go ahead and make your own weapon, look into that. I won't leave any download links for it in the description because Nexus is a very, very complicated website and very aggravating to navigate. So I will leave that up to you for your own personal research. It should be one of the first things that comes up if you look up Borderlands 2 gear calculator. But with regards to Borderlands 1, once you've found that weapon that you want to modify, that you've picked up and you just want to figure out what it does, or if you want to just look at it in the save thing and you want to just modify a couple things on it, take something off of it, what you're going to do is you're going to click import, and then you're going to paste your gear in. You're going to paste your gear in by either right clicking and pasting or Control V, and just click accept. And it will show you the weapon on the right side of the page with all of its stats and stuff in game. Sometimes it doesn't get the damage right, sometimes, but usually it's pretty spot on with everything. And as you go through and you start editing, you will be able to click over here and you'll have different saves for the weapon, and you'll be able to kind of revert your changes if you screw something up. But you can go through here and you can click on different things, and as you see in Willow Tree over here on the right, these different stats over here, these are what's going to be able, these are what is part specific. Some parts add different stats and some parts take away different stats. Of course, like bodies and stuff like that, they give different stats, and that's all down here instead of over on the right or anything like that. That's all down here. That's going to tell you what they do. It's going to tell you the rarity and stuff. Now, if you have a weapon that you want to make a little bit more rare, I recommend you mess around with the right side. The left side isn't really going to help you that much with regards to rarity, other than the body type and possibly the barrel. But the sides, they don't really mess around with it all that much. I recommend you mess with the titles. The titles is what's going to give you those really rare looking weapons. They might not be that rare because they might not even be legitimate, but they might be rare with regards to their color. So you can go ahead and mess around with that if you want to. Also, do remember the title and the prefix. These, especially the prefix, because the prefix you will see like shattering, glorious, light, support. These will change weapon stats like damage. I don't know why, but some things are name specific, and they will change. Another thing is you cannot have, per se, a manufacturer. The manufacturer of this weapon is SNS Munitions. You cannot have an SNS Munitions manufacturer with a Tord barrel. It will not allow you to do it, and it will say manufacturers must match check manufacturer specific parts. And that's pretty simple. Just kind of look over your page and change what you need to change. Now, moving forward, also to export your weapon, per se this is exactly what you want. This is your perfect idea of a weapon. You're going to go over here to the right side and you're going to click code. And then under code, you're going to see all this different stuff, and you're just going to click. You don't have to copy it, you don't have to do anything, you just click it. And it will darken, and you're going to go back into Willow Tree, go to import, and then go to from clipboard. And that will put your weapon at the very bottom. From there, you can modify its level, its quality, stuff like that. All that's very self-explanatory. Once you're done, you're just going to click Save Changes. You do not have to do that, but it's highly recommended. Otherwise, sometimes the weapon will import as like a higher level than what you're wanting it, or a low level than what you're wanting it. But all that's pretty self-explanatory. Now, the one thing that this version of the gear calculator for Borderlands 1 has over top of Borderlands 2's gear calculator is its resources. I explained this a minute ago, and most importantly, the weapons main page and the items main page. These two pages help you a ton when it comes to making weapons, and especially if you're really wanting to get enthused with this game and learn more about it. It will tell you all the different parts for the weapons. It will tell you what they do, how they work, and their prefixes, their notes and stuff like that. It's all very self-explanatory, and it will give you a very laid out table of different parts to read on different types of weaponry. That can help you out a ton. But the thing that I'm going to show you is the Scorpio and stock weapons list. These are modded weapons that do a bunch of damage in the game and pretty much one-hit anything that you want them to. Now, my preferred one out of all of these different weapons, and I'm sorry once again for the jump cut, NVIDIA Shadowplay happened to crash again. The stock repeater pistol is by far the best stock weapon, for one reason and one reason only. It has really good accuracy. The next runner-up would be the stock machine gun, the one after that the stock combat shotgun, and the one after that the semi-auto sniper. Now you might be thinking, why the sniper? Wouldn't that have the best accuracy? No, because of this crap right here. This right here entitles that it has no scope, it has no body, it has no magazine, it has nothing. It is a blank, invisible weapon. But the thing about this is, if you join another player's game with it equipped, your player model will become invisible. Your other teammates and your friends will not be able to see you, and whenever you shoot the sniper rifle one time, it does exactly what the rest does. It kills everything in one hit, but it shoots 5 bullets at a time. Really, this weapon is only good for, I don't know, practical sake. But you also have the stock shield, which, much like the weapons, just gives you infinite shields. It's very self-explanatory. Makes you invincible. If you're wanting to go do the secret armor, your General Knox, at like a level 30 or something, you can equip this shield and go through it and have no issues with dying every 3 seconds. The stock grenade mod, I'm not really sure what that does. I don't know why that's actually here. I've never seen a grenade that does 1 billion damage. I know they used to have them in the game, but they removed them after a certain update. Your max currencies and stuff like that, that's just going to give you $1 billion or whatever. But if you're wanting something like that, I recommend you just take the stock combat shotgun or something and make 2 of them and sell them, because that will put you at max currency. Or make a item core, which I will show you how to do, and I don't think you can do in Borderlands 2 at all. I don't know what made it so odd in Borderlands 1 and why so many people wondered how to do it when it's a very simple process actually. And Mega Ammo, by the way, I also recommend you keep a couple of these in your inventory. specifically for sniper rifles, because sniper rifles run out of ammo a lot. Unless you have a class mod that regenerates sniper rifle ammo, you might want one of these just to keep some ammo in your inventory. You can also drop these for friends if they run out of ammo, instead of having to go and buy ammo from the store. So, what I said a second ago is about something called an item core. An item core is a mod, it's a thing that you can do to the quantity of something in your inventory. It only works if it's equipped though. And so that would mean you would have to import something, equip it, and then go into Willow Tree and make it a core. And when I say core, that just means it's not droppable. So this Rose Omega, it's one of the better shields in the game. It's something that I personally use on my legitimate character. What you're going to do is you're going to go to quantity and make sure, mine does not, but you're going to make sure that that says equipped. Like this, the balanced gorilla shield, it says equipped. What I'm going to do is go to quantity and just type in some random number. Try not to make it larger than about, so say 9 digits. Because it can corrupt your game and it can cause some damage to the save file. If you do that, I don't know why, but it does. And then you can modify anything else and just make sure you save your changes. Anything that you do to anything in this category, make sure you save your changes. Although, if you are importing one of these stock weapons, per se the stock machine gun, if you go and you copy all that and you import it from your clipboard, it will say level 2,147,418,115. It will save that number. Although, do not click Save Changes, otherwise that will revert it to 69 and make it not do the billions of damage that it does. Also, this screen right here is not supposed to be black. It's supposed to be white, but if you press Control Z, it will turn it black and make this all a lot easier to read. So, that's just that's a useful tip. Useful hint for Willow Tree. So that's basically it with regards to editing your save file for Borderlands. There are a lot more things to it. If you're wanting to learn those, I recommend you just kind of play around with the software itself. I've given you the basics to the software, the basics to everything. Everything now is just a learning curve, and all you have to do is just go play around with the software a little bit and figure out what you're doing. It's not that difficult. So now I'm going to move on to some in-game modifications that you can have running that will help you do things a little bit quicker to your own ability. Also, whenever you are in Willow Tree or something like that, and you just want to save, just go up to File and Save. You do not have to click Save As. I don't recommend you click Save As, because if you save over your file, that will not create a backup, I don't believe. And if you have a corrupt file, you're kind of fucked. So that's just my advice. So let's go ahead and jump into Infinity, the last program that I'm going to show you before we completely get in-game and show you the rest of what I was talking about earlier. Now this is Infinity. Infinity is a mod client that you can use for a lot of different games, actually. It's not just Borderlands specific, but this has things for Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, and if I'm not mistaken, it does have stuff for the pre-sequel. It has a bunch of shit for the pre-sequel that you can use, and will make the pre-sequel a little bit more fun. It's actually what I used when I played the pre-sequel on my laptop. I don't have it downloaded on my desktop, though. But we're going to be looking at Borderlands 1 because that's what I'm doing the video over specifically. Now, in here you have a bunch of different things that you can do. All of these are very self-explanatory. I recommend you take a picture of this with your phone or something, so that when you're in-game you don't have to keep tabbing out just to see what you're looking at, or if you have a dual monitor setup you don't have to keep glancing over. You just have the screenshot of all of this crap right in front of you, and you're able to access it at your own will. As I said once at the beginning of the video about Willow Tree, it maxes your backpack space out at 1,000. With this, you can increase it past 1,000, but do remember if you import your save back into Willow Tree, it will revert it back to 1,000. So be careful with that. So, another thing about Infinity, if you're wanting to use Infinity on any game at all, actually, for any game, whether it's Skyrim, Unturned, I don't know why the fuck that's popping up, it's disgusting, Borderlands or Battlefield, it doesn't really matter. If you're wanting to use Infinity at all, you cannot launch the game and then launch Infinity and use it. You have to go and you have to click play from the Infinity menu. Now, if you upgrade to Pro with Infinity, this is not sponsored, although if you want to upgrade to Pro with Infinity, you can, and you can activate your mods and stuff straight from your phone, and it will work just as well. The people who made this piece of software are very, very talented people, and huge props to them. They make a lot of different things, and Infinity is by far one of the best mod clients for any game out there, and it's just a huge help whenever you're playing single-player games or something like that. You just kind of want to fuck around. Infinity is a very good piece of software for that. So, if you got this video for Borderlands, you might have taken out of something for another game that you enjoy. So, that's lovely. So, let's go ahead and jump straight into Borderlands, and I'll show you some of the effects that the Infinity software has on the game. Alright, now that we are in the game, I can start kind of showcasing some of the different things that you can do. Now, if you remember those two lines that we put in our code for PC users to change our FOV, those are F10 and F11. F10 will set you at 90 degrees, F11, which is what I use, will set you at 110 degrees. This will just make it feel like you're running a little bit faster and make the game a little less nauseating when you're in close quarters areas. Now, with regards to Infinity, I launched it through Infinity, meaning that I have access to some of the different things that Infinity offers, such as unlimited health, instant skill recharge, player speed, stuff like that. Now, unlimited health and unlimited armor. Something I have to say about those. Don't fucking use them. Especially if you're using an infinite shield or something like that, because every time you get shot, if you enable them, every time you get shot, you'll see my shield change to 999. Every time you get shot, you are going to have a sound go off that is very, very, very annoying. And so just those two, just try to leave them on, like, off, you know? Don't touch them. Just leave them alone. They don't belong in the game. Just leave them alone. Instant skill recharge for a Siren, amazing. Really for any character, it's great. Especially for the Siren, though, just because you can, if you enable it, if you enable it, you can press F, and then you can run, and then, oh, your skill ran out, and then you can activate it straight off again and go in and out of it as many times as you want to, making it very easy to get around the map, especially with what I'm going to show you now, the player speed modifier. This will allow you to increase and decrease your speed, as you would expect, making it easier to get around the game. I actually don't have my numlock on, as you can see. And it just increases your speed, and with the Siren, it makes that even faster and makes it a whole lot easier to get around the map, and then you can use your other num key to lower it down. Now you can also have your jump increase. By default, I think it is set to nothing, actually. But you can increase your jump height, making it fun. You can jump around, do whatever you want. The other ones drain enemy health. That does something that I didn't expect it to do. I thought it would just be like you get near an enemy and it slowly drains their health. No, when an enemy spawns in, it spawns in with 1 point of health with no shields. Meaning every enemy with any weapon whatsoever will be one-shot. And then there's freeze enemies, that's self-explanatory, I don't really have to show you that. Inventory, add 5,000 money, that's self-explanatory. Stats, add 1,000 XP, add skill point, it's all self-explanatory. The teleport stuff, don't use it, because if you, per se, I was standing here and I saved my location here, and then I went through that right there, and then I teleported back to this location, I would then be in an unrendered outside map thing, and it would fuck everything up. So try not to use that as much as you can, but it is kind of fun to play around with. So that's really it with regards to modding Borderlands 1. Borderlands 2, there's a couple of different things that you can do in Borderlands 2, but I cannot showcase them, of course, because I don't own the game. But they are very similar to this game. Infinity, of course, has its selection of Borderlands 2 mods. It has its selection of a couple things that you can do in there that you can also do in the pre-sequel and in Borderlands 1. But anyways, that's really everything you can do with regards to modding Borderlands. I made this video for the sole purpose of covering everything, because there are videos on every single thing I've covered in this video. There are videos explaining everything that I've covered in depth, but There are no single video with all of it in one archive telling you everything about the 3 games that you can and cannot do and helping you along with every bit of it. So, that's really it with regards to the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe if you did. If you want to suggest a game, I will do any game that is moddable, unlike Arma 2 or anything like that. I'm not going to do those games because I've done modding videos on them before, and I think if you're wanting mods for Arma 2 or anything like that, seek out Rustler or Dug'em. They're kind of the kings of that for those games, for DayZ. So don't suggest those games, but if you're wanting any other game other than DayZ, feel free to request it, and I would be glad to do it. Also, before I go, I want to show you the core thing. That I don't think I made it for this. No, I didn't. What I was talking about earlier. Those are the ammo pickups, by the way, that I was talking about, and how you can drop them for your friends. But the core, if I can find it, there it is. What you have to do to equip it, because you can't just equip it normally, you have to drop it and then pick it up from the ground, or hold E on it to replace your shield. And you can drop as many of them as you want, sorry for my keyboard, and it will just continuously drop them. Also, if you have a shield that sells for a shit ton, like this one, it can be a really good way to give your friends money. So that's just a suggestion. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please rate, comment, and subscribe if you did. It would mean a ton to me if you left a like on the video. I don't try to beg for people to leave a like, but these videos take a lot of time to make. A lot of recording goes into them, a lot of editing goes into them, and so if you guys could please leave a like, that would mean a ton to me. And if you have any other suggestions for the video, if you have any criticisms to make, if you have any games that you want me to do a Let's Hack video on, please, please, please leave a comment telling me them. I read every comment, and whether it's a happy face or not, I don't care what it is, I will reply to you. Unless there's a billion comments with the exact same thing, the only thing you're going to get out of that is I'm going to tell you to go look at the comment section. Because every comment usually has another comment that has said the exact same question that has been answered before, if it is on a tutorial video like this. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Rate, comment, and subscribe if you did, and I'll see each and every one of you in the next video. See ya.